Hey, what's up guys? My name's Julian here from Berge Mazda Volkswagen, and I'm gonna bring you a little bit of insight on the all-new 2020 CX-30. So essentially, since Mazda already had a subcompact vehicle, they took everything that you love about the CX-3 and they combined it with the CX-5, our top seller. So you get a lot of the same feel of the vehicle, the CX-3, but a little bit more of the luxury feel from the CX-5. They definitely stepped up their game when it comes to all-around vehicle, interior of course, cargo space, the feel and the quietness of the ride. They definitely stepped their game up this year. So since Mazda's moving into the luxury class, they definitely did step their game up when it comes to in terms of interior. They took a little bit of the Napa leather that we had in the higher trim levels, the signature trim levels of the vehicle, and since they are renaming everything, it's going to be found in your premium interior now. So you have that brown Napa leather but one thing I really like about is they didn't keep the Napa interior on your seats as well. They kind of switched it up, added the leather right here, which is a really good combination with the stitching that they put in the vehicles all around the vehicle. It just gives it a really clean, luxurious feel. So in the CX-3, the entertainment center was definitely significantly smaller. This year they went with the feel from the Mazda 3 and went with a lot bigger screen. So you also have your dual climate weather control right here. So if you get cold and your passenger is significantly hotter, they can definitely change that. You have your Mazda radar cruise control, which is a lifesaver in my opinion, especially with these Phoenix drivers. A lot of people just tend not to pay attention. So you're gonna get that in here as well, where you can control your Mazda radar cruise control. Each one of these bars on this screen right here will represent 25 feet, which will keep you at a distance of 100 feet in between you and the vehicle in front of you. Not only that, you have rear cross traffic alert, backup camera, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, and lane departure. So those all are lifesavers when it comes to driving on the highway here. So they definitely stepped up their game in terms of safety. So this year they not only added all those safety features into this subcompact vehicle, but they also added Verizon modules throughout the vehicle, which will give you Wi-Fi, or even if you're not in your vehicle, if you have the app on your phone, My Mazda, it'll allow you to turn your vehicle on, warm your vehicle up, or cool it down. Of course, in Arizona, you need to cool it down. And it'll also allow you to roll down your windows. If there's anything wrong with your vehicle, it'll actually send a notification to your phone. It'll allow you to definitely know what's wrong with your vehicle, not only you, but your service techs in your preferred Mazda, of course, which is a lifesaver because I know some people just don't necessarily understand all these newer tech gadgets, but they're lifesavers when it comes to your vehicle. So in the 2019 CX-3, it did not have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as a standard feature. In almost every trim level of the CX-30 this year, you're gonna get your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So if you use your navigation every day, most of the time you're already used to the navigation on your phone. So essentially anything that is compatible with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto would then appear on this screen. So instead of you having to reach back and forth on your phone, you can just use your command, your control right here. Pay a little bit more attention to the road, which is a lot safer in terms of being on the road. In the 2020 CX-30, they redesigned the middle console right here. So it's definitely significantly different from the CX-3. The CX-3 was a lot smaller, didn't necessarily support your arm too much. So that was one of the biggest complaints on the CX-3. So they decided to go with a little bit bigger middle console, of course. And then you have your commander control right here, which not only has all of your dials and everything, but it'll have auto hold, which is a really convenient feature. If you're stuck at the light, you can actually take your foot off of the brake once you come to a complete stop, and as soon as you press the gas again, it would release it then for you automatically. They also added powered seats in your front driver's seat and your passenger. You'll have memory seats right here up front, 1 and 2. They also repositioned all the speakers throughout your vehicle. So your tweeters are gonna be up here instead of being right here on your pillared, and they repositioned all of your speakers throughout your vehicle. Also adding your subwoofer amplifier in the back to not only give you the maximum space throughout your vehicle, but the best sound quality throughout your vehicle as well. Being in Arizona, it definitely gets really hot. So one thing that is a huge difference in this subcompact SUV compared to the CX-30, they added air vents right here in the back as well. So it's definitely a game changer when it comes to the Arizona heat, because it does make a huge difference. So when it comes to the exterior of the CX-30, they definitely made some huge changes. With it being longer, of course, the hood does not look as long compared to the CX-3. It's also may have a little bit of lower look. It's because it's a longer vehicle, of course. But the main thing that they focused on was the quietness of your cabin ride, of course, because that's what Mazda loves. So they definitely made a huge difference when it comes to that. So the bottom, the undercarriage is actually flat compared to what it was on the CX-3. So it definitely makes a big difference when it comes to road noise. So in terms of the CX-30, I definitely like how they did the overall look of the vehicle. So they went with the remastered Kodo design, which kept a lot of the same features from 2019 model, and they added it with a little bit more of the 2020 type feel. So it's definitely a lot cleaner throughout the vehicle, out the vehicle as well, but they mainly focused on the quietness and an enjoyable ride of the vehicle. With it being all-wheel drive, you're able to take it literally everywhere, and going all in the mountains, it definitely can get a little bit louder, but with the all-flat bottom undercarriage, it reduces a lot of the road noise. So the CX-3 definitely has a little bit more of the hatchback type feel. I'm not personally a big fan of the hatchback too much. So with them redesigning the new CX-30, they definitely went with a little bit more of the SUV type feel, which in my opinion, they did a great job. I love the way the CX-30 looks because I loved the CX-5. It was just a little too big for me. So this is kind of a good mixture of the CX-3 and the CX-5. Thankfully, they went with a little bit more of the CX-5 type feel. So this year, they went with the G vectoring, which gives it a little bit more power to, depending on where you're turning, how you're turning, it'll give a little bit more power to specific tires. So a lot of the subcompact SUV competitors do not have all-wheel drive in their vehicles or as an option at all. With the CX-3 and the CX-30 both having all-wheel drive, it kind of gives us a little bit more of that advantage, in my opinion, since a lot of the subcompact SUVs are moving away from the all-wheel drive. They added the 2.5 four-cylinder engine in the CX-30, which is pretty much the standard engine throughout Mazda. They have it in the CX-5. In the higher trim levels, of course, they would have the 2.5 turbo, but it's come standard in the CX-30. Last year it had a 2.0 with 146 horsepower and torque, but this year it has 186, so it's significantly different, being that they're both subcompact SUVs. This engine is the Skyactiv G, which stands for G Vectoring Plus. The G Vectoring Plus will give you a little bit more power depending on how you're turning or where you're turning to a specific tire, which say you're about to go on some ice. The vehicle will actually realize that before you slip, and it'll send a specific power to a specific tire, which will give you a little bit more grip on the road, definitely. So I actually don't even have my foot on the brake right now. I'm using this auto hold, if you can see this right here. And as soon as I press the gas, it'll actually release the brake for me automatically. So instead of waiting at a street light, it'll actually just go for me instead. As soon as I press the gas, it releases the brake for you. So we're out here at Four Peaks, and I've kind of already gotten a feel for how it feels. And man, I can definitely say it's not what I was expecting. It's a lot quieter than what I was expecting because I've gotten a feel for the CX-3. Definitely handles a lot better than the CX-3. So it's like a combination of everything that they did good with the CX-3, but it has like the road cancellation of the CX-5, and the CX-5 is a lot taller, but the CX-30 handles, I would, if not better, equally, definitely. Especially with that G vectoring system, and it definitely, you can feel just the power being sent to a specific tire. before it even accelerates. So we're gonna try and actually go through the bumps instead of me dodging them and see how it actually handles each bump. So normally you'd hear a lot of the noise, but it's almost as if you're not even going over these bumps. Wow. I've been to a lot of car shows in the Miatas, and I would never be able to be out here in one of the Miatas. Even the Miatas are very quiet, but this hands down has to be the best handling Mazda that's out at the moment. Go through a little bit more of these bumps. Wow. It's insane. Like I really was not expecting it to be this quiet. Like I was definitely expecting what the CX-3 feels like. Have you ever taken the CX-3 out on the road?
No, I mean not on a road like this.
Man, yeah, they literally took everything that is amazing of the CX-3 and the CX-5 and just combined it. I'm impressed. Man, look at that view right there.
Yeah.
So as bumpy as the roads are out here, man, I definitely was not expecting how quiet of a ride that was.